Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. Josh, Zeke, Mr. Robinson, the guy, Plebere Infinite. What's up? Hit the like button. A lot going on. So yeah, market's at a make or break here. We're gonna break that down. Futures are slightly red, crypto slightly green, and we're gonna look at everything. We're gonna talk about the overall market, my thoughts on the next couple of days, some individual names. We're gonna be talking about the new Fake Etf launching tomorrow and premium prices raising tonight. So a lot to break down. We're going to start off with crypto. We have Bitcoin still doing nothing, still just going sideways, still waiting for a move. You know the range. We've been talking about the range spinning for weeks now between 33 and 47, 46K, really 46K. Gotta wait till it breaks either way. Until then, it's just a waiting game. Ethereum, we did talk about how this broke out yesterday, but you want to see a break above like 30.50 to invalidate this potential hidden bearish divergence over here. This is backtesting a breakout. I'm gonna move over to some other markets. Crude oil futures are ripping. So if we delete everything on this exact day over here, I told you all that there was a bearish engulfing candle and then it broke down and then you saw it sell off further, and then down over here, I think like the day after, I showed you all this this bullish bat harmonic, and it's just crazy to see how it's gone straight up since hitting the PCC of a pattern. Like, you have all these things going on in the world fundamentally and catalysts, and then you have literally a pattern on a chart that's moving one of, you know, the most talked about asset classes right now. I mean, can you believe that literally Fibonacci sequences and just numbers and lines are moving this? Like, it's too perfect. So it's just crazy to see how that's moving. It's now testing resistance. It's the historical resistance dating back to, like, I think 2011 and 2013. This blue zone over here was highs previously, so now you're retesting that. You actually did get like a bullish pin bar on the weekly last week, so we'll see what happens. You've also got some potential hidden bullish divergence, and that's where you are on crude oil futures. Moving on to gold really quickly. It's just consolidating after backtesting a previous resistance as a support. It's trying to hold on to like 1900. Silver is also backtesting a breakout of this. You can see this little blue zone it broke out of. Now it's backtesting it. See if that can hold. The Hang Seng Index pretty much going sideways last few days after a huge rip earlier in the week last week. The dollar is moving higher. We talked about this exact level on the dollar. It was a backtest level and it backtested it again. We talked about this, I think, yesterday night, and now you're seeing continuation off the breakout backtest. A lot of energy and oil names were up today. Something like XLE was up today. MRO was up today. This is Marathon Oil. XME, this is the metals mining ETF. This kind of broke out of a little bit of a flag here, which is pretty interesting, and even broke out of a level. Let's see where the next level for this is. I don't have much chart until like 71. There really isn't much up until like 71 now, if this breakout can hold for XME. So those are just some other markets and whatnot. We're going to talk about the overall stock market now. All right, so hit the like button, and it's in the title of the stream, make or break areas for stocks. What's going on? What are we testing? Let's take a look, okay? In a second. Let me just see if there's anything in the chat. Drop vibes in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. First reminder, premium prices raised tonight. This is the final chance if you want to join. I'll probably do a reminder towards the end of the stream, but I just want to get it over with so we can focus on the market and the new ETF dropping for everybody tomorrow, or Fake ETF. But prices raised tonight. The workshop's going to be coming on in a couple weeks. All of this is included: swings, options, weekly watch lists, AI alerts from Trading Ticks, and you could see all this stuff. Prices are going up tonight. You can see how much they're going up by over here. This sign up link is the second link in the description, and we're currently on a 9-win streak for options alerts. We're going to see soon, maybe tomorrow, if I can get the first 10-win streak ever on options and premium. We had a 9-win streak once before. This is the second time we've had a 9-win streak, and if I can win the next trade, put out a winning trade next, this is going to be the first time 10 wins in a row since like last Tuesday. So we'll see if we can do it. If not, it's all cool. I think 9 wins already is pretty good, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be talking about some SPY puts from today later on when we finish the market breakdown. And then also the ETF is launching tomorrow. I guess we could touch about this before I talk about the make or break area for the market. That's definitely a level I want to talk about in a second. But remember, towards the end of last week, I told you all that I was actually planning on doing this myself, but basically launching a fake ETF, which would just mean I'd put out like a public portfolio paper trade, and it would just be like a long-term focus. But I decided today, there's a lot of people on that stream when I first brought it up, and then on Twitter, a lot of people were excited for this. And then today, like last minute, when I was setting everything up, I decided it would be a lot cooler if it was just like, oh, there's the emojis. But I was thinking it would be a lot cooler if it was more than just me working on this ETF. Now, this ETF is available for everybody, not just like premium members or something. So everybody who's in the Discord can see it. So if you're not in the Discord, the link is in the description. So this is pretty much what's going on. Tomorrow, there's going to be a link dropping somewhere in this channel. And you just got to click the link and you're going to be able to see how everything looks. I don't want to share it right now. And we also have a team now instead of just me. So this team is going to be including multiple people, clearly. It's going to be me, Mehdi, who you all know very well, Lord Bogendoff, and Anna, who are all in the Discord. So there's some general guidelines we have for this. Let me explain them. And I'm pretty much over here. For those seeing this first time, we're basically launching our own long-term focus fund that we're going to be working on together. So it's not just me, but basically we're going to have two parts of this fund. The whole entire fund is $10 million, again, paper money. Then we're going to have a $6 million main fund. Okay, so that's 6/10 of the overall fund is going to be the main fund. Now for this fund, all four of us are going to be voting for every single buy and sell. So we need 3 out of 4 of us to pass all the votes on buys and sells. So for example, if we want to buy something, not financial advice, none of this is financial advice, I need to say that right away, but let's say in the fund, if we want to buy DraftKings, 3 out of 4 people need to agree to that. And then if there's ever two people are for it and then 2 people are against it, then we do maybe a half buy or half sell. So we'll buy half of our intended position for that. Or if, the votes for selling something, we'll sell half of it, right? So that's how the main fund works, right? We're going to be voting on everything. We're going to be working together on every single buy and sell, all the analysis. And then we all have our own $1 million personal fund. So I don't know. I don't want to look at it as a competition. We're all just trying to help out the overall fund. And we'll see what happens, but each from the 10 million. So that's 4 out of the 10 million. I'm not sure if I'm lagging right now. All right, I think it just came back. All right, looks like we're good. I don't know, it just cut out for a second. All right, so it looks like everything's good now. Wow, that's a lot of emojis. Okay, so where was I? All right, so $10 million is the whole entire fund. I think it's good. All right, $10 million is the fund, $6 million main fund, and then $1 million each for the 4 of us. Basically, for our personal funds, our max position size is 33%. So that would be $330,000. Because remember, we have $1 million each. Then for the main fund, the max position size is 10%, which is going to be $600,000. If I'm doing that math correctly. So that's how the max position size works. So we're not, going all in anything in the ETF. Everything is going to be diversified. So technically, the most any position could have, let's say somebody has a full size in their personal account, and then in the fund we also have a full size. That's going to be 330,000 plus 600,000. That's like what, 930K. So it's about 10%. So 9 to 10% is going to be like the max position size. I don't think we're going to have more than 1 or 2 that hit that 9 to 10% allocation. You look at something like the QQQ, which we looked at earlier today when we were having a call about all this. I think Apple is like a 12% weighting in the QQQ. So You know, other funds have similar amounts. So those are like the position size and guidelines. And then the general guidance is this is a long-term focus, and we're not going to be, you know, maybe if like news comes out or something quick changes like the market, we might have to like, you know, buy and sell something on the same day. But overall, the goal is, you know, any buys or sells should not be reversed within a week. So we can average over the course of multiple weeks, but it's not like buying 1 week and then selling, you know, selling in 2 days later. It's going to be more of not even like swing trading, but like long-term focused. And then in terms of the exposure for the fund, it's going to be 30% large caps, it's 50% mid caps, and 20% small caps, roughly. 5% pullbacks on the S&P 500 at any point are going to enable us to use margin. So we have $10 million in the portfolio, which we're just going to keep. We're going to be using that money, as you can see the allocations over here. But if the SPY pulls back 5% at any point, we have another 10 million in margin. That's just like kind of our emergency fund that we can use to cost average positions or open new ones if we really like dip buying opportunities. So those are mainly the rules. This is going to be publicly viewable tomorrow. If there's any questions about how any of this works, let me know in the chat. Basically, you know, whenever we buy or sell anything, it's going to be shared in this channel. And all of the analysis, you know, we're working on everything. We're doing a poll about everything, and like literally this is not just like, you know, throwing out random things. Like we're putting a lot of work into this. So, you know, now we officially have day trades, which are primarily in this channel in premium. Then we have swings in premium, and then swings outside of premium. And now we also have a long-term ETF. So we have day trades, swings, and long-term for the first time ever. I've waited a long time for this day. Now everybody, depending on whatever style you like the best, can learn in some sort of way. So this is the breakdown of the ETF launching tomorrow. The link will drop tomorrow. We're going to update in this channel, and you're going to be able to see the portfolio live. You're going to see the returns and the exact positions in it. And then we're also going to be doing a quarterly call. The first one's going to be next Friday, which is going to be, you know, pretty much our Q1 call, even though it's only going to be like a week. But it'll just help us break down things and our plans for the next quarter pretty easily. It's mainly just going to be guidance, I guess. Remember, all this is fake money. None of the buys or sells or anything that we say ever in the Discord is financial advice. So not financial advice, and we're just trying to have fun with this. If you want to see this, the link's in the Discord. And then if you want swings, those are also in the Discord and in these channels. And if you want day trades, well, the prices or the price on premium goes up tonight. These are the last 9 options alerts. The link to join is in the description. Those are the final reminders. Now we can focus on the market. I'll probably do another round of reminders at the end of the stream for people who join late. But until then, let's talk about the make or break area for the SPY. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. First up, S&P 500. I told you all last night that I was looking for short-term pullbacks this week. We technically closed flat on the S&P 500, but most other ETFs were red. Like the ARK was down 3%, the QQQ was down 0.4%, the Russell was almost down 1%, and the S&P was down, I think, like 0.7% at one point or something today. It rallied into the close, but yeah, you did definitely see some resistance at the 200-day moving average. I'm sure there's, I don't know if millions is the right word to use, but definitely hundreds of thousands of people watching that exact line. So you saw resistance there, definitely not a surprise. And I also noticed today that perfectly lines up, or somewhat lines up, with your 50% retrace from this high to low. So you're at a 50% retrace and the 200-day moving average. This is your make or break area short term for the S&P 500. And that's where you are. So we broke out last week. You know, long term looks like a bull flag breakout like we talked about last week, but short term, you know, you just went up like 6% in like a week on the S&P. That's almost like an average yearly return or something, I think. So, you know, you might see a little bit of a pullback. Short term, we even talked about like those Bollinger Bands on the 1 hour and whatnot. I'm going to come back to the lower time frames in a second. Let's go to the daily on some other ETFs first. The Russell 2000 is, you know, it broke out on Friday like we talked about last night. 3 right soldiers pretty much. And then today it tried back testing it. You did close above your lows from these candles over here and your highs from these candles over here. So for right now, it's just a back test of the breakout, but you're going to need some sort of continuation. I'd probably focus more on this green line than like the horizontal line, because you know, that horizontal line could be argued to be like this. So I'd focus more on just this breakout for right now. So that's your Russell 2000, the QQQ, doji candle. Just kind of, you know, you were seeing bullish. Now you're going to a little bit more neutral. So tomorrow's going to be a big day to see which side can take over in the short term. Levels are charted. QTF, same thing, kind of like an inside day doji day. So, you know, breakout would be above 66 Friday and today's high, and then kind of vice versa around 62. So those are your higher time frames. On lower time frames, the SPY broke out of this triangle, which I showed you all last week, and it just ran and ran and ran until it filled this gap over here at 446. I noticed this gap fill in the morning. It was like minutes after the open. I got into puts because I already knew that we were going to be testing the 200-day moving average on the daily, and I saw this gap fill in lower time frames. So I got into puts like a few minutes after the open, and let me break down that trade for all of you. And that was really my only trade today. I didn't buy or sell anything. Actually, I tried to trade AMD a little bit, but it was a very small size. So this is pretty much my only trade, pretty much today. For me, my final take profit on 0 day till expiration puts was 270% or so. Looks like the chat's not updating. Let me try and fix that. Did it just update? All right, that worked, I think. So yeah, here was the analysis. Let's break down the potential 90% profit trade. For me, I shared Wednesday's puts. These are Wednesday expirations. I shared these like 18 minutes after the open, but around like 9:35, 9:36, I got 0 day till expiration puts. So I played the puts a little bit differently myself personally. So let's scroll up, and yeah, you can see I said it was at the 200 moving average, the 50% retrace. At 9:49 a.m. it filled this gap on the 1 hour. Same analysis I just showed you all, right? So this is before the market even started pulling back today. I identified these bearish variables. There was a 5-minute tweezer top, and it broke under VWAP. And in 4 minutes after this alert, those puts were up 20%. In about 45 minutes, they were up 50%. And they just kept going up, and a little bit of an interesting move up happened, and then I think there was I think it was Powell or something starts talking about interest rates, and then the market tanked really quickly. So highest potential take profit was 90%, and yeah, that's 9th win in a row. But for me personally, this is where I want to kind of focus on so this is what I was just talking about, but I want to focus on this. Where can I find it? All right, so this is pretty much how I like alerted in premium, but how I played it was a little bit different. And I talk about this all the time. A lot of the times, you know, sometimes I am in whatever I alert in premium, and I do like to, you know, it's hard to remember because things are going so quick, but most of the time I try and also say like I'm in these personally or something. But what a lot of the times what I do is I pick like slightly different contracts. It really doesn't matter on the SPY or anything because of how much volume there is. But I just don't want anybody ever saying like, oh, you're literally sharing, you know, because I know some people that have had like issues where like they share like far out of the money options that are like low volume, and they load them up before they share them. First off, I barely ever share like super far out of the money, and then, you know, I also want to just make sure I'm not doing stuff like that, even though again, for most of this type of stuff, it literally does not matter with how much like liquidity and volume there is. But I just try and play them a little bit differently than what I alert. But today what I did was I got 0 day till expirations, and this is really what I did. So I enter them pretty much a few minutes after the open, around where this yellow candle or this yellow arrow is pointing to. So I entered my puts because of all that analysis I just showed you. And then my first take profit was pretty much where this green arrow is showing you. I saw a couple hammers in a row, and I saw that I was back testing these highs. So this was my first take profit. This was over 100%, I forget how much. And then you had this rally. So I took over 100% profit on my first sell order, and then the market rallied, and then actually my overall position, what was left in my position, turned red. But again, you have to remember I already took out profits, so like I don't know exactly what it looked like, but I'd already taken out profits, so I'm not exactly sure if I was up or down on the overall position. But obviously, like at that time, I was down because of theta crushing me. Even though I entered here and it was here and I was in puts, theta still crushed me. So like percent wise at the time I was down, but again, I don't know if I was really down because of the profits I took out. But I just waited. You know, it never broke above the previous high of day. All I wanted to see was a lower high, and that eventually came. I saw this kind of bear flag action, even though you typically see those like over here. And I saw I was breaking this, and then the news came out. We had some big volume, and yeah, I just held. I even saw when it was retesting this support, I held it. You know, I saw that it was bouncing off this low, but it just did not look like there was anything good about that. Volume was still dropping to me. And I was thinking, all right, as long as you stay under VWAP, I'm going to stay in the position. So from my stop being like up over here, I moved my stop to like up over here. So I stayed in. So basically I was just tailoring my stops, kind of like a trailing stop in a sense, but reverse because they're puts. And I held, and then my second take profit was over here. I was retesting this consolidation. And then my final take profit was literally the low of day on my puts, which was right over here. And actually that exact level I did share to everybody over here. I said approaching first support -1. It ended up being the low of the day, but it was these previous highs over here. So I took my almost sniped the bottom for my final take profits on puts. So that's how I played the puts today. That was my analysis. But remember, you know, this takes years of practice and literally staring at charts. It was not just seeing the candles and the patterns. Like all of these 5-minute candles, I was looking at my screen. I was seeing how each candle was moving within its 5 minutes. You know, so it took a lot of patience. And it was a little bit, you know, of a nail biter up in these areas, but that's pretty much how the trade went for me today. That was my day. So that's like the trade breakdown, day trade breakdown from today. We were making lower highs throughout the day on the SPY, but it ended up actually just before the close breaking above VWAP and this high over here. So kind of, you know, it still could be considered a lower high as long as it stays under this. But we'll see tomorrow if futures are slightly red. So that's the overall market breakdown. Keep hitting the like button. Thank you for the 30 likes. If you're not subscribed, to the subscribe button. That's everything with the market. Some individual names. Tesla was up 2% today. It's continuing its move up. And we talked about this 945 level last night on stream. It got up to 943, but pretty much got there and then started pulling back. So, I mean, we've been breaking down this Tesla breakout since these areas, well, literally a few days ago. And you went up to your next resistance and you started pulling back at it. So just like the market is kind of, you know, sitting in a make or break area short term, but longer term you did break out. And who remembers this weekly chart that I brought up like 2 weeks ago, talking about the trend line and the bullish pin bar and the hidden bullish divergence, seeing that bounce. So that's Tesla. AMD we said is going to be testing a breakout today, and if you really zoom in, it technically just broke out. It closed slightly above the 200-day and the supply line. You might want to see a few days to confirmation, of course. So that's AMD. That's literally it. You know, lower time frames, there's not much to be done really. You could like chart all the levels, but I just wait for some confirmation. I mean, of course, if it does like Tesla or AMD did, it could just start like running like right away. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just keep an eye on it for sure. And then moving on to Nvidia, we talked about this. You know, when it broke out right over here, we talked about like how we're talking about that on AMD right now. And just like Tesla, it broke out, it ran to the next resistance. So, you know, these lows and these highs for your resistance, it's testing it now. We'll see if it can break above or if it can't. And yeah, those are just a few tickers. Clove pulled back a little bit today, but it was up in the morning, hit like 362 in the morning. However, it did close above these highs from January 11th and 12th and even the 7th. So this is a zone you just want to stay above, this blue zone over here. That's literally it. You know, but these were the more technical areas, and I was breaking down this breakout live on stream. And you know, 3 rising values and everything. I mean, we talked about this literally like right over here, and look what happened. So beautiful pattern playing out there for Clove. Fisker was down a couple percent today. We talked about how this is slightly breaking out as of the end of last week. Now it's potentially back testing it. So tomorrow's a big back testing confirmation day for a lot of different stocks. So yeah, you can see that this level was been resistance. It broke above it. Now it's back testing it. That's that. In terms of the swings, Penn still is just in this little 4-day. Now it's 4 days. 4 days range between 43 and 45, but at least it's consolidating on the swings in profit. Facebook is back in profit after almost getting stopped out. Kind of an inside day for Facebook. I did say that I was approaching its first resistance, I believe, and I even looked back in time from over here last night on stream. So we just had a very big run very quickly. You're starting to cool off a little bit. Of course, SEC pretty much hit the target. Even today, again, it went up to 285, 1 cent off, but pretty much got there for a 33% gain. So you had just had major runs, and now you're just consolidating, and we gotta wait to see what the next move is. I think it's more of just a patience time in the market right now until things get hot again. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's the overall breakdown for today. Steven says, can you remind me where in the Discord it describes your entry and exit position sizes for options? Describes your entry and exit position sizes. I'm not sure what you mean by position sizes. Oh, are you talking about like my scaling? So that might have been in the deleted channel. When I had like my Champs Trades channel, but that channel's not there anymore. So I'd have to write it up again if that's what you're asking about. But I talked about scaling a little bit earlier on the stream if you saw the SPAG puts, and I'm sure scaling's in the course. I mean, I might try to make another message at some point though about how I scale. I feel like that was a really good message. Looks so sick, bro. I can't wait. Says Lincoln. I think that's about the ETF. Glad to hear that. Raj says, have you thought about doing a DAO? I haven't thought about doing that. But that is an interesting idea. The guy says, I'm only shorting Medi's fund. Oh gosh. But I mean, like, seriously, don't look at the personal funds as any competition. I mean, especially for me personally, this is literally my first time, like, ever really, like, apart from like a few names in the past, like literally only a handful of names in the past, like long-term focus. I've always done swing trading up until like 5 months ago, and then I started doing day trading. So, you know, don't even go into this thinking I'm gonna do amazing. Like, I'm going into this with a very open mind. I already know my strength is shorter term trading. So remember, you know, what I teach mainly is shorter term swing trading and whatnot. Long term trading, we're gonna see. It's gonna, you know, it might take me some time. Even with options, for those of you who were in premium last summer, I know we had some great times trading options on clov, call options, not puts. But you know, it was definitely a lot more, I wouldn't say 50-50, but like 60-40 back then, 65-35. Now, I mean, we just won 9 trades in a row. And like most of them were actually puts in a market that was going up, right? Because I'm more of a reversal trader, so I'm finding intraday reversals. But you know, it's going to take me some time to probably get into the swing of things and seeing how my personal strategies work on a much more longer term style. And of course, you know, it's a crazy time in the market. I mean, the NASDAQ just pulled back like I think over 20% or corrected or bear marketed. I don't even know the right terms to use at this point. So don't look at it as like a competition. We're all just trying to kind of help everything out, see what we can do. Zeke says, for me personally, it's tougher to scale and hold positions longer with smaller sizes. It's tougher to scale and hold positions. Yeah, I mean, definitely, it depends, you know, on how much the contracts are. For me though, I always try and make sure I plan that ahead of time, if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I even mentioned this in premium a couple weeks ago. Like one of my on the call side and the long side, I've done pretty good at like scaling profits, and I'm actually, this took a decent amount of work because for those of you in premium, I've actually sent a couple of messages about how like on puts, like I've always kind of sold a little bit early because I don't really understand. Like, it's a lot easier for me to understand how assets move up than down in terms of the like literally second by second ticks, you know, like the tape. So when I'm staring at a chart, I feel like I can understand the buys and sells under those candles a lot easier, just in uptrending assets. With downtrends, you know, I don't know, it's just I'm a little bit more scared about it just randomly reversing to the upside because of the crazy bull market we had for like 2 years. So, you know, I actually talked about this like a month ago where like on a lot of my puts, I was taking profits way too early, and then, you know, to have it like today, it's like a huge improvement compared to where I was a couple months ago. So again, you know, we're always learning day by day. You know, like this type of a trade was literally perfect today. Got puts at the high of day and then sold at the first low of day, like first major swing low of the day, and then my other take profits were right around the lows of day. So it takes a lot of practice. You know, honestly, like it took me 2 months of this market doing what it's been doing and going down for me to, you know, learn these types of intraday moves and see, you know, which hammers mean more than others. And because it's not just, you know, how the candle closes. Of course, that's the most important when it comes to confirmation, but for like day trades especially, it could also help to see what happens during the duration of that candle, right? Because this green candle could have looked completely different, you know, at a different point. So seeing how it goes up and down and then finally close is also a big thing that I do intraday. It takes a lot of stress, honestly. are you thinking about doing channel trades again when you feel more comfortable with the market? I'm not sure, because now we also have this ETF thing, and I'm already doing swings and the options. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, that was like, I don't remember exactly when I started it, but it was quite literally the worst possible timing ever. It was like, it was right around the top when I started that channel, and it was like literally the first time in like 2 years that the market decides to have an official like correction on the SPY. Like, horrible timing. So I don't know, I kind of have like flashbacks from how much that sucked, but maybe we'll see. So that's the majority of the breakdown. Keep hitting the like button. Let's see if we get to 40 likes. What's up, AK? How you doing? So yeah, any questions about the ETF that I was talking about earlier, let me know in the chat. I know the Lump had some questions. So you're sharing one account and then you have to get others to accept the buy and sell. How does fund split work? Same account as each. How does fund split work? Same account, each trader gets 1 minute trade. What's the main fund for? Do you need to vote to use your own personal funds? Okay, I think Lenny already kind of answered it, but yeah. For the ETF that we're starting to release tomorrow, well, that's a lot of emojis. For the $1 million each we have in our personal funds, we all can do whatever we want with those personal funds, except we cannot go over 33% into one name. And then for the 6 million main fund, we can go over 10% into one name, and everything, like literally we have a channel just for voting. I don't want to share it publicly on the stream. You're going to see everything publicly in this channel and on the actual link that we drop tomorrow. But literally every single decision, like buy, sells, adding to positions, scaling positions, how much of a allocation, we're voting on like everything for the main fund together. So, and again, remember, we need 3 out of 4 people to pass it. So that means you have at least 3 out of 4 people thinking the same exact thing, right? And I think that's also a little bit better than me doing all this by myself, because it's not easy to manage this and do everything else that's here in terms of swings and options and day trades and streaming and the intraday analysis and everywhere. Like, so definitely helps to have other people helping me. So shout out to Medi, Lord Boganoff, and Anna. How long is ETF going to run for? Technically, the game it's on like a stock game website. Some of you might remember it. It ends in a year, pretty much. It ends like the middle of next March. So if we continue it longer than that, we just have to kind of like replicate the exact portfolio, and then I don't know, because I can't make it last more than a year on that website. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other general questions people might have. I think you know, it might have helped for me just go over this on stream really quickly. So that's the ETF stuff. You're not going to hear me talking about premium sales and premium price raising and whatnot for a long time now. I know I've been talking about it like nonstop last week because we also had the trial. But you guys know, I wasn't even talking about this at all in January and even in February, except for telling you all that I was extending the price raise by like this, because this was supposed to take place at the end of January and then we extended it. So this is the final night that I'm giving you all these reminders. Results are there, it speaks for themselves. And if you click on the website, you can see a walkthrough video, member reviews, and option trade results. So there you go. It's the final reminder for that. Pretty much whenever the stream is over, I'm going to eat and then I'm going to raise the prices. Also, it might kick a couple people who are like who have inactive subscriptions from like a couple weeks ago. So if you are on premium, you get kicked. The Discord bot kicks you. I never kick anybody unless you break a rule. So I know some people who don't auto renew or whatnot. You get kicked from the Discord. Don't think I'm just mad that you're not staying in premium. It's not me. It's literally the memberful bot that kicks members. That's like the only way it removes your access. So you just join back with the Twitter, go to my Twitter and go to the link there, or it's literally in every single one of my YouTube stream descriptions. And if you're not on the Discord, join it. We have the ETF dropping tomorrow and a bunch of other cool stuff. So yeah, futures. Still slightly red, but not too bad. And that's where we're currently at. Alright, so that's probably going to be it for tonight. Thank you for watching the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Should be live again tomorrow night. See you then. Peace out.